Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. It's very easy to notice how much anime has influenced Western film and animation. From the films of the Wachowski siblings to cartoons like Avatar: The Last Airbender, it is clear that many Hollywood filmmakers are anime fans and want to bring the stylish aesthetics of Japanese animation to their projects. One such fanboy is Guillermo del Toro, who set out to write his love letter to the mech genre in Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is a sci-fi action movie set in the distant future, where destructive monsters called kaiju are invading Earth and giant robots called Jaegers have been built to defeat them. The Jaegers are piloted through a system called drifting, where the pilots mentally link to operate the giant robots during battle. After the government stops funding the Jaeger program, a resistance is started manned by the marshal behind the Jaeger operations. The marshal decides to revive an old Jaeger called Gypsy Danger. In a risky move, the marshal assigns Gypsy's former pilot, the rebellious hot-headed Rawley, alongside a vengeful, untested rookie called Mako. Can the Jaegers stop the kaiju, and will the resistance learn more about their enemy? It's more than clear that Del Toro is passionate about the mech genre. You can tell that he's watched plenty of giant robot anime because Pacific Rim wears its anime influences proudly on its sleeves. From the operatic drama to the slick, badass fight sequences, this movie really is a mech anime brought to live action. Del Toro's love for the mech genre mainly shines in the fights between the kaiju and Jaegers. Del Toro is obviously having a blast making these colossal machines fight ferocious beasts. It's like watching a little kid playing with toys. Every battle is choreographed with immense energy and decorated with bright neon colours, giving the film a cool cyberpunk visual aesthetic. I also like the idea of the pilots mentally connecting to operate the Jaegers. The fact that these soldiers require some kind of connection to fight in the Jaegers heightens a strong theme of teamwork that runs throughout the film. However, I struggled to see a connection between the leads of Mako and Rawley, because it was as if the film was forcing them to have chemistry for plot convenience. The movie is convinced that there's a spark between them, but I just don't see it. Besides sharing grief over lost loved ones, nothing much helps to create evidence of their inherent connection. Interestingly though, the drifting idea does explore a personal fascination of mine, the risks of technology. Drifting may help pilots to operate the Jaegers, but their memories can become a distraction, which does lead to a major disaster at one point. Not only that, scientists try to use drifting to tap into kaiju brains, and while this does give mankind an advantage, it comes at the peril of exposing the scientists' minds to the kaiju. Machines can be convenient, but they also have a dangerous side to them. There's a horror element to technology, and Del Toro uses drifting to demonstrate this, with exciting, scary results. I'm going to give 4 points to the content. Rawley isn't that strong of a character to me. He just comes across as a generic lead hero. Sure, he's likeable thanks to his decent morals and supportive attitude towards Mako, but I wouldn't say that he's memorable. He's lacking certain charm and charisma that would make him stand out like other action hero characters. Mako could have been a great character, but she failed in execution. A tragic backstory about losing a family lacks weight because we never see clear memories of her interacting with her family, so I couldn't sympathise with her loss or care about her revenge motive. Her relationship with the Marshal, who saved her after a kaiju attack and raised her since she lost her parents, is also missing emotional gravitas, because they don't have many scenes alone together, plus most of their interactions are usually strictly professional. So when they share a highly emotional scene together later on, it feels forced because we didn't see much of a bond between them beforehand. Her flaw as a pilot is that she lets her memories distract her, but for some reason that issue is solved a scene later without any explanation or believable character growth. It's a shame. Mako had potential as a character, but the writing let her down. The Marshal feels like the most fleshed out character. He's a stern, calm and professional individual, but behind his mask of seriousness lies a history of emotions, as well as a secret that shows how human he really is. I found his character to be the most organic and dimensional, even though his relationship with Mako is stilted. Chuck Hansen is just your typical egotistical rival for our hero. We've seen this character before many times. He acts like an ass towards our hero, but he's eventually won over, blah 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 blah. It's a tired old trope for movies like this. The resistant scientists do provide useful information and some decent comic relief, but they are way too cartoony. They're so silly and over the top that I often fail to believe that they fit in this film's universe. They belonged more in a bubbly children's TV show. Hannibal Chow is a seedy and dangerous kaiju organ dealer. I like that he has a wide knowledge and understanding of kaiju. It helps us to believe that he's been successful in his field. I'm going to give 2 points to the characters. I love the animation in Pacific Rim. It's staggering to witness. The Jaegers are not only impressive in scope and scale, but they're also animated with imagination, attention to detail, and an understanding of weight. The Jaeger animation is also believably synced up with the pilot's movements. I was totally convinced that these were heavy, giant robots being operated by humans. The kaiju are also amazing to look at. There's loads of authentic detail in their designs, their sizes are overwhelming, plus their animated movements are given feral animalistic personalities, all helping to give them an intimidating screen presence to make us see why humans fear them. Like I said early on, the collisions of the Jaegers and kaiju make for some stunning action imagery that'll take your breath away. This is mainly thanks to how much effort, competence, energy and creativity has been put into the CGI animation. I'm going to give 5 points to the animation. Charlie Hunnam plays Rawley, and he doesn't really bring anything to the character. He doesn't have that certain edge or charm that most action stars like Chris Pratt or Bruce Willis have that make their characters appealing.
So what's your story? Storing old Jaegers, showing has-beens like me around? That can't be it. You a pilot?
No, not yet. But I wanna be one, more than anything.
What'd your simulator score?
51 drops, 51 kills.
Wow, that's amazing. But you're not one of the candidates tomorrow?
I am not.
Rinko Kikuchi plays Marco, and she does a fantastic job bouncing between the languages of English and Japanese. She's convincing and expressive in both languages. She really impressed me.
The candidates are ready. We will commence the trials immediately, sir.
Good.
But there is one thing.
Marco, we have talked about this. We will not be talking about it again.
You promised me. 私がイガーに彼と乗るべきだと思っています。
Marco.
Idris Elba plays the Marshal. I loved his performance. He pulls off the gruff military persona really well, but at the same time you can see a lifetime of visceral emotion in his eyes. It's mesmerizing.
How sick are you? Why didn't you tell me?
What's to tell? You know them Mark ones, we scraped them bad boys together in 14 months. Last thing we were thinking about was radiation shielding.
Robert Kaczynski plays Chuck Hansen, and even though he's playing a one-dimensional character, he's pretty good at playing the asshole.
You two are a goddamn disgrace. You're gonna get us all killed, and here's the thing, Ali. I want to come back from this mission, because I quite like my life. So why don't you just do us all a favor and disappear? It's the only thing you're good at.
Stop, now.
Charlie Day and Bern Gorman play the scientists, and I think they're mainly to blame for how cartoony their characters come across. They're a tad over the top and can be annoying.
Stay back! Kaiju specimens are extremely rare, so look but don't touch, please!
Mr. Beckett, this is our research team. Dr. Gottlieb and Dr. Geisler.
Ah, nah, call me Newt. Only my mother calls me doctor. Herman, these are human beings. Why don't you say hello?
I've asked you not to refer to me by my first name around others. I am a doctor who has 10 years decorated.
10 years of experience, man, about time!
Please.
Ron Perlman steals the spotlight whenever he's on camera as Hannibal Chow. He's so good at being both slimy and badass.
What do you want?
I'm looking for Hannibal Chow. I was told he was here.
Who wants to know?
I really can't say.
I'm going to give 3 points to the acting. I think that the music is one of the strongest aspects of this movie. It combines thumping drums, powerful orchestral sounds, and shredding electric guitar to get us pumped up about the fights. There's an exhilarating level of anticipation as the music builds up while pilots get ready. Then, when the Jaegers and Kaiju fight, the music goes all out, supporting the badass action with all its might. It's a brilliant score that truly belongs in this motion picture. I'm going to give 5 points to the music. To conclude, Pacific Rim is certainly entertaining and visually impressive, but it's not entirely satisfying. It's missing a lot of emotional weight to make it outstanding. It's clunky, but definitely fun. Pacific Rim has gained 19 points, which translates to 3 3/4 Mech strawberries out of 5. If you enjoyed such titles as Neon Genesis Evangelion and Transformers, then I think you might like Pacific Rim. Now, for the next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews, I decided to let a very special lady in my life called Ada decide what I would review next, to show how much I love her. I took her to a movie store and I said, pick any film from this shop and I will review it for you next month on my show. What did she pick? Bronson. Cheerio, folks.